Lord Liddell.
My Lords, I beg leave to ask the question standing in my name on the order paper.
This government is currently reviewing the position it has inherited on rail infrastructure and will consider how we address capacity needs whilst maintaining financial discipline. We will set out our plans in due course. We need a long-term approach to infrastructure and investment, taking account of local transport priorities, which is what we will provide.
I thank my noble friend for his reply. Of course, we need a long-term plan for investment. But is my noble friend, will you agree with me that there is a huge problem of congestion and capacity on the West Coast main line, which is a key artery of our transport system, that these problems have been made worse by the former Prime Minister's impulsive and ill-thought-through cancellation of the second stage of HS2. And the National Audit Office says that this will reduce capacity on the West Coast Main Line by a further 17%. So we need an investment solution to this, and will the noble Lord confirm that the government hasn't ruled out use of the existing HS2 route to provide that extra capacity?
Following the cancellation of HS2 Phase 2, the government is looking at all options to improve rail journeys to the North West and Scotland, including managing the long-term issues my noble friend describes, with capacity that HS2 Phase 2 would have alleviated. In the meantime, Network Rail is progressing a programme to renew and modernise the West Coast Main Line between Crewe and Scotland, and work on that will continue through the next 3 5-year control periods.
For the last election, the previous government announced that in lieu of a Barnet consequential to Wales arising out of HS2, they would move forward with plans to electrify the line from Crewe to Holyhead. Does the Labour government intend to honour that pledge? And if not, will they ensure that Wales does indeed get a full Barnet consequential related to the spending on the HS2 project?
As with a number of other suggested projects by the previous government, the electrification from Crewe to Holyhead had never been funded and has not been developed. In relation to the Barnet formula, I had a very good meeting with the Welsh Government's Cabinet Secretary for the Economy, Transport and North Wales. He put his point of view on that subject and I responded to him.
The noble Lord Liddell is absolutely right that we need a long-term plan for the West Coast Main Line north of Manchester. But the service Avanti are providing right now is also a complete disgrace and needs to be dealt with. Trains between the West Midlands and London are often late, frequently cancelled, dangerously overcrowded. When is the government going to get a grip of Avanti's services? And whilst we're on the subject of rail services in the West Midlands, can the Minister explain why cross-country trains were allowed to do engineering works and replace the trains with a bus service between Birmingham and Leicester last Saturday? The one day in the year, thousands of people from Birmingham are travelling to Leicester to watch Aston Villa beat Leicester.
In relation to Avanti, the first performance meeting that the Secretary of State for Transport, my right honourable friend, the Secretary of State for Transport, had was with the Avanti management and also the Network Rail route. Their performance is far from satisfactory. The contractual position prevents the rapid action that one might want to take, but we are pressing them extraordinarily hard to deliver the service that passengers and taxpayers need. In relation to the football match last Saturday, I don't have the details to hand, but I will write to my noble friend.
My lords. train services to the north of England, may I ask my noble friend, the Minister, if the Department could also look at the constant difficulties experienced on the South Wales to London main line, an important link between our two countries that fails on a daily basis.
The performance of the Great Western Main Line has been the subject of a great deal of discussion and a change of management in Network Rail, and the infrastructure is improving. But nevertheless, I will take away my noble friend's remarks on it, and we will press both Network Rail and the train operator to do better.
My Lords, may I welcome the noble Lord to his place? May I return to the very good question, I thought, asked by the noble Lord, Lord Liddell, which I didn't feel was very adequately answered, particularly in relation to Euston. Will the noble Lord, the Minister, be candid at the House and say how much public money is his department bidding for in the current spending round in order to extend the operation of HS2 from Old Oak Common to Euston? Or does he hold to the view that that could be achieved entirely by private sector investment?
The noble Lord's question in relation to Euston is germane in relation to the usefulness of HS2. Currently, the government has been left with a position where many things have been promised and there isn't enough funding to do them all. But we are reviewing the position on Euston urgently, and we intend to respond when we're able to the proposition to extend HS2 from Old Oak to Euston.
My Lords, this side.
This side.
I've been waiting for a train for 20 minutes. Can I just congratulate Lord Liddell on asking the first friendly question on railways in the almost 10 years I've been in this House. And I think he has hit the nail on the head. His capacity. It was never about speed, it's capacity. And the number of times you get on a train at Euston, and the train manager says, if we don't leave in 2 minutes, we'll be on a slow train to Milton Keynes or Watford, and similarly from Crewe. So could I ask the Minister, would he liaise with the elected mayors of Liverpool and Manchester and Birmingham and keep trying to work with those regional mayors, because they're the people who understand it more about the need to move people around for business, for pleasure, for leisure, for life opportunities. And could he also, in a spirit of glasnost, keep this House involved in the future progress? Because as the spokesman has just said from the Conservative Party, the money has to come from somewhere. It's been found for the pay offer for the rail drivers. Perhaps it can now be found for the public who travel on those trains.
In relation to discussions with the Combined Authority mayors, of course they have a very important part to play in determining the rail services in their areas, and this government is absolutely committed to discussing with them the balance on the capacity of the railway between long distance travel and that travel which is needed within those areas to create growth, jobs and housing. On future progress, the government has to review the railway as a whole. It's a network, and as we do it, no doubt we will be asked questions about it, and I've no doubt that this House will be fully involved.
Oh, sir, my Lords.
This side, this side, this side.
Bellingham. My Lords, can I...
No, Bellingham.
Yeah, my Lords, can I first of all...
Order!
My Lords, returning to the Minister's response to Lord Liddell, does the noble Lord accept that it was perhaps a mistake to discontinue the HS2B line to Crewe? Yeah. If that line had been extended to Crewe, it would have benefited services to Wales, it would have directly linked into the West Coast Main Line, and if I may put it this way, it would have added much needed credibility to the whole project. Would the government be willing to look at that matter again?
The government is currently reviewing the position it's inherited on HS2. The connectivity points that the noble Lord raises are good ones, and the proposals for the development of the railway network will indeed have to take those things into account, and will indeed look at solving some of the issues that he mentions.
My Lords,
This side.
this,
Bellingham.
no, it's this side, I think, isn't it?
This side.
But-
This side. This side. This side.
My Lords,
My Lords, apologies, but I believe this is a question for the Conservative benches.
very much indeed. My Lords, first I'd like to declare an interest as a former member of the Select Committee on HS2 that spent nearly 2 years hearing evidence, copious evidence from many different experts. And the one underlying recurring theme was the crucial importance of getting the link through to central London and Euston, because without that, we really will not be able to solve the capacity issue.
The link to Euston has to be considered alongside many other commitments for railway investment, not all of which can be funded in the present financial situation. But we hope to come back quickly on Euston because it is easy to recognise that it is part of the integral HS2 project.
Fourth oral question.